Okay, one of the fundamentals of call making is getting centered. The best way to do that when you're starting with a rough cut blank is to get it round so that you have an even spin, because you could have a slight wobble if you just started right from square, and that could mess you all up. Besides, you don't really know what's down in there. This is just a wild maple burl that I'm working with. It's got bark inclusions and stuff that I'm going to have to CA seal and turn into rock basically. But you don't know what you're going to find, so you can't just start with square. You got to get to round, and once you get to round, you're spinning at high speeds. Then you've got a lot better balance. I'll show you what this looked like when I pulled I had the live center on it, but then got it to round and pulled it away, and it's smooth as glass, and it's perfectly still. So then what you do once you get that is you pull your live center away and you go ahead and bore. That's bored clean through. And then you can take it off and you can put it on the mandrel. And then you can turn it from center. So you've established center, and then you take the material away from center. And then you've got a center board call the whole way through. You try to do it in the chuck from the outside and then get the bore another time, or you try and get the bore and then you turn from the outside, you're going to end up with a wobble. It's just about inevitable. So get round so you've got a smooth spin, bore out center, then get it on the mandrel and turn from center. That'll keep everything absolutely centered. I start on the live center with the chuck, and you can see, I don't know if you can see from this perspective, but it isn't center. So if I tried to center bore right now, that wood would be trying to spin itself out of there. So I've got to turn this round first. After I turn this round, then I can take the chuck off, or not the chuck, then I can take the live center off, and I can center bore, and it's going to stay true as can be because it's balanced. Right now you can see it's not balanced, so I got to do the round turn first. See, I've gotten to round. I'm going to pull the live center off, and you see how true it stays. Didn't even warble. That's what you're looking for. Now I can do that center bore and not worry about it trying to throw itself out of there. Another thing to consider is if you're going to finish the call on a mandrel, this is the last time on the lathe that you're going to see that center bore. So you might want to finish out a real nice bell, because it's the easiest time to do it is on the lathe. Otherwise you got to use the drill press, you got to use your fingers. It's really more difficult to make a nice smooth finished bell. So right now is the time to make a nice bell, especially if you know you've got good material. This is really nice stuff, and it's going to be easy to seal up and harden. So I'm going to go ahead and make a nice finished bell. That other one with the checking in it and stuff, that one I'm probably going to have to shorten and get some of that bark inclusion out of there. So this one's going to get a nice finished bell before I do anything else. Here you can see it pretty finished. It's ready for a sealer coat and some buffing. That'll look really good, and I can turn whatever call I want on top of it. Got quite a bit of wood to work with there. So what I'm doing is I'm making two sets. I'm making bite reed elk call and a closed reed predator call. They're going to match in that they're the same wood, but they're not going to match in shape. I'm going to make them different shapes. So one of each will be one shape and one of each will be another shape. But I wanted to show you this is chucked up on the mandrel and ready to spin. And the core of it, this is the wider bore for the bite reed elk call. And these will be the narrower bore. But the core of it is hidden. It's gone. Now I'm just working on the outside. I know how big my bell is by seeing the end of it here. I know how deep my bell is, what I did to it. I know I can make any shape I want on top of this. I can choose how long they're going to be. I can choose the shape. I can choose the lanyard groove. I can choose any beads. whatever I want to do, but the core is done. So now I can work on the outside. I can finish sand it, I can seal it, I can do whatever I want. So that's the process. Now we're on to finish work. This is the fun part. You end up with the effort you put in. So you get a nice finish or a dull finish or whatever, but the point of this story is the center bores. Look at the center margins. That's what you're going for when you bore the center and then you turn on the mandrel. Completely dead center even. This is Western Washington maple burl. With the CA finish, you can go to look at the CA video that I put up and see how I can make these spark inclusions just solid as stone. Comes out like glass.